What's going on, Vikings fans? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman. Thank you guys so much for joining us as a part of our weekly live show here, where we break down the latest around your favorite football team ahead of Week 1 versus the New York Giants. I couldn't be more excited. I've said this a couple times on the channel, but I literally feel like a little kid on Christmas Eve, and you're just so excited to wake up and open up your presents on Christmas morning. I feel like I've been sleeping on Christmas Eve night for the past 5 nights. I just can't wait for Week 1. And if you guys are excited for Week 1, get the skulls going down below in the comments section. We already got Tom Lyles, Buddy Bear, IG in the chat. Shout out to all of you guys for tuning in. Yeah, Week 1. Couple days away. I cannot wait. I am super excited just to see the big dogs out there. Like, I love watching preseason, seeing these guys battle for roster spots, battle for starting positions, but I just can't wait to see Sam Darnold throwing to Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. See that defense out there with Dallas Turner. Can't wait to watch Jonathan Grenard play. Haven't really seen too much of him in the preseason or of training camp. So, a lot of guys I'm excited to watch, even the veteran, Harrison Smith, see 22 back out there. But shout out to Sherry in the chat. IG, Drew W. Henderson saying Skull Vikings. Woo! Shout out to Drew in the chat. V-Ty also joining us today, but we got a lot to break down. The Vikings just released their first official depth chart and all of their starters before Week 1 versus the New York Giants. And then also we're going to be going over what Brian Flores had to say about Dallas Turner. Then I'm also going to be giving you guys my top 5 players to watch in the game versus the New York Giants. Then we're going to close today's show out with a mailbag. But speaking about the matchup versus the Giants, who are you guys most excited to watch? Week 1 versus the Giants. I'm going to go chalk here. Pretty basic answer, but I'm going to go Justin Jefferson. I cannot wait to potentially see the gritty in the end zone. MetLife Stadium Sunday at around, I'd probably say about 1:30. Jefferson's going to find the end zone this Sunday. But Z Cool in the chat. Shout out to you, man. Welcome in. Type in a skull. Z, let me know. Who are you most excited to watch this Sunday versus the Giants? O'Connell in the chat saying, Skull from Loyal, New Mexico fan. That's awesome. Yeah, V-Ty saying Aaron Jones. Can't wait to watch Aaron Jones play. Lyles going with Aaron Jones. M. Matt going with Aaron Jones and Dallas Turner. Yeah, Dallas Turner's definitely up there. Especially, we got just a slight taste of how good he can be in that first drive versus the Las Vegas Raiders, where he went toe-to-toe with one of the best left tackles in the National Football League, and he beat him on 3 straight reps. And then he finally got the sack on the 3rd down on a 3rd and goal scenario. Paul B saying, I hope Seeps can outsmart Marshy Sunday. Yeah, Marsh and I, we're actually planning on, and I'll tell you guys a little bit more about it here in a second. We're thinking about going live tomorrow on the channel and playing Madden, Vikings versus Giants. Marsh and I have already played twice. The score is 1-1. So we were thinking about going live tomorrow at about 4 and just playing some Madden and see who can win the Vikings-Giants game out there on the Madden field. But before we dive into more on today's show, I do want to give a massive shout-out to today's presenting sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Now download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS and get $50 instantly when you play just $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5, and you don't even have to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Shout out to Prize Picks. Run your game. Now I also want to give another massive shout out to the best ticket purchasing app out there, and that is Game Time. Now, if you guys use promo code ChatSports, we'll hook you guys up with $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but use promo code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Now, Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out all the fluff to show you incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching throughout thousands of tickets. So download the Game Time app, use promo code ChatSports, and you guys will get $20 off your first purchase. But I want to ask you guys this question, or just ask you guys to name a player down below in the comment section. If the Vikings end up picking off Daniel Jones or Danny Dimes Week 1, who are you calling to get the interception? For me, I'm going to go Stephon Gilmore. He picked him off last year. I think he's going to pick him off again this year. I think Flores is going to do the prototypical line 7 guys up on the line of scrimmage. Dimes is going to panic, and then he's going to overflow to football, or it's going to get tipped, or whatever will happen. I think Gilmore's going to come down with it. But you guys let me know. Name a player who gets an interception week 1 versus Daniel Jones. You could go Byron Murphy. Maybe Harrison Smith gets one. Josh Metellus. Tom Lyles is going Ivan Pace. I would love that. Ivan Pace repping the number 0 this season. M. Matt going Pace or Cashman. Cashman would be sweet. That's another guy I'm excited to watch. Didn't see him in the preseason. He's a very good linebacker. He was a great pickup in free agency for this defense. He's another guy that Vikings fans, we are going to be sitting there, at least some of us will be sitting there being like, oh man, I forgot we picked up Blake Cashman in free agency when he's making some big-time plays. Daniel going Gilmore 2 picks and 1 for 6. I love that, Daniel. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. But Cash Prod's going Cam Bynum. TC Ja going Brian Asamoah. That would be a sleeper, no doubt about it. If Asamoah ends up picking off Daniel Jones, probably assume that somebody gets hurt in the linebacking group. He steps in, maybe picks them off. But, appreciate you guys getting your thoughts down below in the comments section. But I do want to give you guys our deal for the day. So Marshall Green, he's actually my roommate. He runs our New York Giants channel here at Chat Sports. And we are putting this deal out there. If we can get the $500 combined between both channels, we will play Madden live on the channel tomorrow. Vikings, Giants, MetLife Stadium. We're going to replicate week 1. And if we get up to $200 in Super Chats today, we will play Madden live on the channel tomorrow. Also, I'll give you guys one more chance before we go live for week 1. We are going to be giving away this football during the game. But if you guys want to get your name on here, it's $10 to get on our Vikings Now MVP ball. I already had a bunch of real ones join us last week who supported the show. But that's the deal out there. If you guys want us to go live, play Madden tomorrow to wrap up our day. If we get the $200 total, we will play Madden live on the channel tomorrow. But we're also going to have a mailbag coming in about 40 minutes or so. And I also do want to welcome in Skull Tex, Big Tex here, the best producer we got here at Chat Sports. And Tex is actually going to be producing our watch party versus the New York Giants. Super excited to have him here. If you guys could show him some love, give us Skull Tex down below in the comments section. EV Dog saying, what's the amount to make you get a Vikings tattoo? A lot more than you think. Could not do that. Yeah, I could not get a Vikings tattoo. Maybe if they ever won a Super Bowl, I would feel more open to it. But yeah, I just don't think a Vikings tattoo is. It would cost a pretty penny. But who knows? Who knows? Z Cool though, coming in with a $20 super chat to start us off. Z Cool saying, let's start this off strong. Number 1, baby. So Z Cool's already on the football. Z, if you see anybody in the live chat who you want to get here on our MVP ball for week 1, you shout them out. I will add them to this. Or if you guys just comment Skull down below in the comments section, we will get you on the ball. But Z, I always appreciate your support, man. Really goes a long way here at Chat Sports. And nothing would make me happier if I had all the Vikings Now fans in the live chat tomorrow when we play the Giants in Madden. If we get the $200 total, we'll go live here on the channel. But yeah, it's a deal right now. Hashtag Young Good deserves one. Young Good. Did we see Young Good in the chat? Yeah, Young Good at. I got you. Young Good, you're going on the football. Appreciate it, my man. Gotcha. Young Good, you're going on because of my man Z Cool. Appreciate you, Z Cool. Shout out to you. But again, we will have a mailbag coming in about 40 minutes or so. So hashtag Vikings or Super Chat. Get your thoughts up on screen. Ask me anything about week 1. Ask me anything about the Minnesota Vikings. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we will break it down here on the channel. But hashtag Vikings in the live chat right now. Drop your comment. Drop whatever you want to talk about. We'll put your name up on screen, your question right there. We'll break it down. But I would really appreciate it if you guys got down in the live chat. Hashtag Vikings. Ask me anything, and I would appreciate it. Shout out to Sauce, Pokemon, Baseball, Sports, Gaming, MC. Type in Skull down below in the chat. But Z Cool, give me a question. I'd appreciate it. Tom Lyles saying, do you think 98 Bowl will get? we'll get what? If you finish that question, Tom, we'll put that up on screen. Cash Prods, good question. Just add hashtag Vikings to your comment. Just helps our software pull it. And yeah. Saw saying, I'm going week 1. What should I expect? Great question. I'll answer that in our mailbag. Shout out to you, man, for getting a question in there. But coming up on today's show, we're going to be going over the week 1 depth chart that was just released yesterday. We'll be diving into that. Then also, Vikings top players to watch versus the New York Giants. I got 5 players where if they have good games versus the Giants, we should be, celebrating Victory Monday here on the show. And then also Brian Flores raved about Dallas Turner. Want to share with you guys that information there. So also mailbag, hashtag Vikings, get up on the show, get your question right up next to me. Shout out to Cash Prods for getting that in there. I appreciate it. And also Dakota, getting your thoughts up there. Also, if you guys have a hot take, if you guys want to say, I think Dallas Turner will win Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, whatever you guys want, just get your thoughts up on screen. Would really appreciate it. Where is Roger Bong? That's a good question. He was in the chat earlier. I'll DM him on Twitter. Yeah, I just sent him a DM on Twitter, see if he's going to join us today. He obviously could be busy with whatever it is. But hey, if you guys are ready to go, if you guys could hit that thumbs up icon. We're at 15 likes right now. If we get the 20 likes, I'd really appreciate it. But hit that thumbs up icon. If you guys love the Minnesota Vikings, and if you guys want to get a dub week 1 versus the New York Giants, cannot wait for this game. So hit that thumbs up icon. Once we get the 20 likes, we got 40 people in here. Once we do that, we will hop into the first segment, breaking down the Vikings week 1 depth chart versus the New York Giants. And again, if you guys do have some extra money to support the show, $10 you send in, we'll sign your ball or sign your name on this ball right here. And then if we get to $200 total, we'll play Madden here on the channel live tomorrow. Super excited about that. Dakota, good question. I appreciate you. Drew Henderson putting the fight song in the live chat. Shout out to you, man. Thank you. Love to see it. But hey, if you guys are ready to go, we're going to dive into it. We just need one more person to hit that thumbs up icon, and we can start today's show. Tom Lyle saying we got to make a statement week 1, put up some points. Yeah, I think week 1's going to come down to the defense. Giants have a very good front 7. We can definitely get them in the secondary, beat their secondary with our talent we have on the outsides. But if they're able to get pressure in the interior like they were during Wild Card Weekend a couple years ago, might be tough for the Vikings. But I got faith. I got faith in Kevin O'Connell. Got faith in Sam Darnold and Jefferson and the whole crew to get it done. It's just a coin flip game. I fully expect the Vikings to win. They should expect themselves to win, but, we will see. I agree, Cash Prods. I agree. And we've done countless videos breaking down Darnold and his game here on the channel, and I'm with you. But, hey, we just crossed over 25 likes. I appreciate you guys, but let's dive into our first segment here, deep diving into the Vikings week 1 depth chart. The Minnesota Vikings just released their first official depth chart before their week 1 game versus the New York Giants. What's going on, everybody? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we're going to be going over every single position group on offense and defense, and I'll be giving you guys my thoughts on the Vikings' first official depth chart. But before we dive into that, guys, week 1 is here, and we got our first subscriber battle of the year. And we're taking on a powerhouse here at Chat Sports, Giants Now, New York Media. They are a massive channel here at Chat Sports, and we got a week 1 sub battle going on right now, and we are losing. So I'm asking for you guys' help. If you guys have not hit that subscribe button just yet, or maybe this is your first time coming across the channel, please subscribe today. I would really appreciate it, and maybe we can top Giants Now in subscribers ahead of week 1. So hit that sub button. Let's dive into the quarterback room here first. No shockers here. Sam Darnold listed as QB1, Nick Mullins at QB2. And then, if you guys didn't get the news a couple weeks ago, Brett Rippon is actually quarterback 3 on this roster. I was watching Hard Knocks last night when he was cut by the Chicago Bears, and he just seems like a really good guy. He was pretty heartbroken about being cut by Chicago, but he's also very excited to be in Minnesota. So instead of Jaren Hall, the Vikes are going to roll with Brett Rippon as QB3. And when I think about the quarterback room, this is all I think about. The Vikings' success this season, offensively, comes down to how Sam Darnold plays. You got 2 tackles. You got some great tight ends. You got the best non-quarterback in the league in Justin Jefferson. Great number 2 receiver in Jordan Addison. A great running back in Aaron Jones. A great play caller in Kevin O'Connell. All the success, all the expectations of this offense are right here on Sam Darnold's shoulders. If he plays well, this offense will be top 15, if not top 10 in the National Football League. But if he puts up a stinker and he looks like who he has been in the past years, this offense could struggle, and we could potentially have another quarterback starting, about midway through the year. So all of the success, all of the expectations fall on Sam Darnold. But let's kick it to the running back room here. Pretty empty room. Vikings did end up cutting they cut Myles Gaskin. He returned to the practice squad. Cut Kene Nwangwu. He was actually signed by the Saints, but he failed his physical. So he is still out there on the market, but as it stands right now, Aaron Jones, RB1, Ty Chandler, RB2, and then CJ Ham manning the fullback position for this Vikings offense. Now, I do want to get you guys this quick note here. Kevin O'Connell in a press conference this week confirmed that Ty Chandler will be kick returner number 1 this week versus the New York Giants, which kind of goes back on what Kwesi was saying a couple of days ago when he said Myles Gaskin will be the main kick returner and RB3 for this team. So I'm just going to take KOC's word for it. I think it's going to be Ty Chandler returning kicks this season, and I'm cool with that. But the one negative part about that is, let's just say something happens to Aaron Jones on Sunday. Then the only true running back you have in Ty Chandler is also your main kick returner, and obviously on kick returns, injuries are at a way higher risk, and the NFL has tried to combat that a little bit. But still, you don't want, ideally, your main running back to be the main kick returner as well. So will the Vikings make a move at the running back position or the kick returner position? We'll have to wait and see, but it looks like heading to week 1, it's going to be Ty Chandler as the kick returner and Aaron Jones being the top back in that room. But let's kick it to wide receiver here. We got the new headshots. I just realized that, actually. Justin Jefferson looking good. He's rocking the bling in his profile pic for us here at Chat Sports, but he's wide receiver 1. Addison's wide receiver 2. They did not specifically have Jalen Nailor listed as wide receiver 3, but that's what I'm going to probably lean towards, that he gets the nod over Brandon Powell, Trent Sherfield, and Tristan Jackson. But when I think about this room, you know what you got with Jefferson and Addison, especially with Addison is healthy, which he is fully anticipated to play week 1. It's going to come down to the other guys. It's going to come down to Jalen Nailor and Tristan Jackson. Now, both these guys look great in the preseason. Jackson found the end zone 3 times. Jalen Nailor averaged 23.5 yards per catch this preseason. They're both super explosive guys. They both play the game just a little bit differently. And I like that because you need different archetypes of wide receivers. It's how you get a perfect blend in that room. But both of these guys got high expectations for them. And I'll tell you what, one guy specifically in terms of week 1 versus the Giants, Jalen Nailor, he could be set up to have a massive game because the Giants will be doing everything they can to take away Jefferson, Addison, and Aaron Jones. He's going to get a lot of one-on-one opportunities. We'll see if Sam Darnold can find him and take advantage. But, the one guy I'm most excited to watch against the Giants, and I don't know if it's just because we go through the NFL offseason, we go through preseason, and you don't really talk about, the main guys on your roster as much as you should. But this man right here, I feel like, again, Vikings fans, NFL media, just everybody who covers the sport of football are forgetting how damn good number 18 is. This guy was the catalyst a couple years ago when the Vikings won 13 games. Late in the fourth quarter, he came up clutch. Even this past season, battling through injuries, playing around 8.5 games, he still got over 1,000 yards this past season. He has gotten better every single year he's been in the NFL. We're going to see the best version of 18 this Sunday against the Giants. But let's kick it to the tight end room here. We got TJ Hawkinson. He is on the PUP list, so he could return week 5. I'm assuming it's going to be more towards week 7, but who knows? Maybe he could return London or he could return for the London game versus the New York Jets, but it will be Josh Oliver being the main tight end, best run-blocking tight end in the league. You got Johnny Munt. You got Nick Muse working in there as well. And here's a hot take. I'm calling it right now. Josh Oliver scores this Sunday. I can see it now. Sam Darnold's going to be goal line formation, play action. Josh Oliver slips out of the back of the end zone. He's wide open. and Darnold just throws him a lollipop and he scores. So that's my hot take for Sunday. I got Josh Oliver scoring 6 against the Giants. But the offensive line, no shockers here. We are going to be rolling out Christian Darrisaw, left tackle, Blake Brandel, left guard, Bradbury at center, Ed Ingram, right guard, and Brian O'Neill at right tackle. And I'm looking at the 3 guys on the interior: Brandel, Bradbury, Ingram. You know why? Because this man right here, Dexter Lawrence, will be the reason if the Giants end up beating the Vikings. It will be because of this guy right here. They call him Sexy Dexy in New York, and he is fantastic. He is the best interior defensive lineman in the league, in my opinion. I would even take him over a guy like Chris Jones. He is a great in the run stuffing department. He's great at getting pressure to the quarterback from the interior. And, you know, it's a cliche here, and we saw it with Kirk Cousins, but quarterbacks, they hate pressure from the interior. This is a guy who could game wreck a game. The Vikings aren't prepared for him, or if he just manhandles Bradbury, Ingram, and Brandel, Giants could find some success in stopping the Vikings offense. But speaking about the offense, will the Vikings offense be top 15 this season? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no down below in the comment section. You guys let me know your thoughts on how you think this offense will fare for the 24-25 NFL season. Coming up next year on the show, we're going to be diving into the defensive depth chart for your Minnesota Vikings. But before we dive into that, I got to give a massive shout out to today's sponsor. That is Game Time. If you guys download the Game Time app, use promo code ChatSports. We'll hook you guys up with $20 off. Yes, that is correct. $20 off your first purchase. But shout out to Game Time for sponsoring today's show. And Game Time actually has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Now, Game Time Picks, it filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Now, Game Time is the #1 ticket purchasing app out there, and I absolutely love it. One of my favorite features is the views from your seat, where you can see specifically what you'll be looking at before you even buy the ticket to your favorite event. And also, week 2, the San Francisco 49ers are rolling in the U.S. Bank Stadium. If you guys want to get a ticket for that game, use Game Time. So download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. The link for that will be in the comment section and description of today's show. Well, let's kick it to the edge department here, as this is a group that I am a massive fan of, and I feel like it's going underrated because I do believe you still have a top tier guy in Jonathan Grenard. Then you got the most versatile player in the NFL in Andrew Van Ginkel. And then you got the stud Dallas Turner, first-round pick, who absolutely cooked the Raiders left tackle in the first preseason game. And then you also got a guy like Gabe Murphy, who's on IR, UDFA from UCLA. But anytime I see this edge group, anytime I throw up this depth chart on the screen, I think this is the best edge group the Vikings have had since the Mike Zimmer days. Like, since the Vikings had Everson Griffin, Danielle Hunter manning that group, like, this is the best group that they have had. Maybe you don't have the superstar in Danielle Hunter, but keep your eyes out for Jonathan Grenard. This guy who had 12.5 sacks last year and in his first real breakout season. But I'll tell you what, this is not the same Giants offensive line you saw a year ago where they gave up the most sacks in the NFL. They made some additions. They brought in John Runyon. They brought in Greg Van Roten. They brought in Jermaine Illuminor to shore up that group. And if you guys watch Hard Knocks, they are their biggest priority this offseason was protecting Daniel Jones. And the Vikings, it's just going to be a little bit tougher getting to the quarterback in comparison to getting to the quarterback against New York this past season. Also, Andrew Thomas, one of the best left tackles in the game. But in terms of stopping the run for the Minnesota Vikings, you're looking at the defensive line depth chart. It's got Jerry Tillery, former first-round pick, Harrison Phillips, and Jonathan Bullard. And, this is the most mid-group on the team. Like, they're not great. They're not bad. They're just straight up middle of the pack. But I want you guys to look at the 3 names below the 3 starters: Levi Drake Rodriguez, Taki Taimani, and Jalen Redmond, and check out what Brian Flores had to say about them. He said this trio of D linemen has done a really, really fantastic job of coming in and learning the system. Their ability to apply it in real time, in games, and on the practice field has been real good. I'd be comfortable about putting any one of these guys in there. They've dominated the preseason. They all look good. I'm excited to see if any of those guys will get some real rotational reps this Sunday versus New York. But let's kick to the linebacker group here. Definitely the most top-heavy group for this Vikings team, because you wouldn't really feel too confident about Grugier Hill or Brian Asamoah, checking in the game for Ivan Pace or Blake Cashman. But both of these guys are fantastic, and I'll tell you what, Cashman is going to be that guy where it's going to be Sunday. He's going to make a big-time tackle for loss, or he's going to have an interception on Daniel Jones, and we're going to be sitting there saying, man, we should have gave more attention to the free agent signing. So, listen, I do think the Vikings linebacking group is better than it was last year. I think Cashman is an upgrade over Hicks, and in a sync with Ivan Pace going from year 1 to year 2. Now he has the green dot. He's going to be one calling the plays. We'll just get more production out of that group. Again, this defense is going to shock people this upcoming season. And another group that is going to shock the NFL is this cornerback group. The 3 guys you see on screen right now, I think are all underrated in some regard. Byron Murphy, before he signed with the Minnesota Vikings, he was undisputed a top 20 cornerback in the NFL. Had a down year with the Vikes this past season. Shaq Griffin, he's played at a top level in the past, but he's coming off a down year. Stephon Gilmore is older, but he's still a very productive player. Then keep your eyes on Dwight McGlothern. I'm very curious to see if he's going to get in the game this Sunday, because you got to contain Malik Neighbors. He was drafted 6th overall in the 2024 NFL Draft, and if it's not Dexter Lawrence, I'm probably most scared of this guy right here. He is electric with the football in his hands. He can take a 5-yard slant and take it to the house, very similar to OBJ. My player comp for him coming out of college was Jamar Chase. He is very similar to him, very physical runner, but also he's got some top-end speed, some unreal hands. He can really do it all at the receiver position. And there was a big reason why people were debating who should go number 1 off the board at the receiver position, him or Marvin Harrison. So the Vikings cornerbacks are going to have their hands full with Neighbors this Sunday. But let's kick it to the safety group. One of the better positions on this Vikings defense. You got Cam Bynum, Harrison Smith, Metellus, 3-headed monster. I don't really have a specific position for Metellus, as he just plays every position on this defense. But even a guy like Theo Jackson and Jay Ward, excited to see those guys work in there. And when I look at this group, I think about this question. Who is picking off Daniel Jones this Sunday? Is it going to be Smith? Is it going to be Bynum? Is it going to be Metellus? Or is it going to be somebody at the cornerback position? But, my prediction, I went with Stephon Gilmore a couple videos ago. I'm going to ride with the old-timer. I'm going to ride with Harrison Smith. I think 22 is going to get an interception this Sunday versus Daniel Jones. That's what I'll say. Predicting it right now, but hey, you guys let me know. Name a player who gets an interception week 1 versus Daniel Jones. I was saying Stephon Gilmore earlier in the week. I'm changing that. Call me flip-flop and Seeps, but I'm going to go Harrison Smith gets INT versus Daniel Jones this Sunday. Now, if you guys want more Vikings talk on your Twitter timeline, that's a handle right there at Pat Seeps. Give me a follow over there, and I'll give you guys a follow right back. See you guys next time. Skol Vikes. Name a player, though, who is picking off Daniel Jones this Sunday, as Mr. Rick is in the chat saying, Skol Seeps, I'll be in MetLife Sunday. Mr. Rick, good luck to you, my friend. It's going to be a hell of a game. Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones. It's actually a game I'm very excited to watch, even if I obviously wasn't a Vikings fan or a Giants fan. So I think it's going to be a fun game, as Mr. Rick's going, everyone is picking off Daniel Jones. He stinks. For me, it's a win-win on Sunday. Well, no, it's not. If the Vikings lose, I'll be devastated. I actually take that back. Doom Gloom saying who's worse, Darnold or Jones? I think that answer will be, I think that question will be answered this Sunday. But Cam gets INT. Aaron's going Ivan Pace. Gilmore will pick off Jones. Yeah, I hope so. Somebody's got to pick him off. If we don't force a turnover on DJ this Sunday, Giants probably win that football game. But we do have a super chat rolling in from my man Sauce Pokemon Baseball Sports Gaming MC saying Skol Vikings for life. I'll add you to the football right now. I said $10, but I'll make some deals here, as Buddy Bear is saying Jerry Tillery gets a pick. As also, Marsh and I, for all the Giants fans in the chat right now, we are actually planning on going live tomorrow, only if we get $200 in Super Chats on our Vikings show today. We will play head-to-head live here on Vikings Now and Giants Now. You guys will see us both up on screen. We'll play Madden, Vikings versus Giants, as at the house we've actually played over the past couple of weeks, And right now the record is 1-1. So this would be game 3. All the marbles will go live here on the channel. Only if we get $200. We're at 25 right now. If somebody could get us to that milestone, I think it would be a ton of fun. So if you guys want to help support the show and watch a potential Madden stream tomorrow here on the channel where I'm manning the Minnesota Vikings and Marshall Green's manning the New York Giants. It's going to be a ton of fun. Justin Jefferson's an absolute cheat code in the game. And Aaron Jones is also absolutely nasty. And also Stephon Gilmore's got a high overall as well. So if you guys want to see that, $200 in Super Chats today, and we will get it done. Seeps versus Mr. Vegas. Yeah, he's still coming off that bender. But we are going to be getting into a mailbag in about 3 minutes or so. So if you guys got a question for me, hashtag Vikings in the live chat or Super Chat is the best way to do it. Just helps our software pull whatever you got to say, and you'll get your question right up on screen next to me with your profile pic and the whole 9. So hashtag Vikings in the live chat or Super Chat to get up on the show. Appreciate it if you guys ask a question. It could be about the Vikes, could be about the Giants, could be about the season as a whole, could be about free agents, trades that could go down. Whatever you guys want, I will answer it. So get those questions in the live chat right now. Hashtag Vikings. Is Doom Gloom saying Devin Singletary and Eric Ray are at RB for Giants. Not good, but Eric Ray is good. Yeah, I mean, the Vikings, number one thing you got to do here, we got to take away the run game. You got to let Daniel Jones beat you. And I know he just cooked the Vikings 2 years ago in the playoffs. But that is a totally different defense, a totally different scheme. Honestly, couldn't be more polar opposite. Where you had Ed Donatel from the Vic Fangio tree where they're just all playing 10 yards off. It's a lot of bend but don't break defense. Where you got Brian Flores, he's the complete opposite. It's all about mayhem. It's all about I'm either bringing 3 guys on a 3rd and long or I'm bringing all 8. There's really no in between with flow there. But Mr. Rick saying, how much do you guys have towards the 200? We're at $25 right now. So if we get 175 more, I know that's a lot, but you know, if you guys want to see us play Madden tomorrow here on the show, Super Chat would really, really appreciate it. So, you know, that's a deal of the day. If we get $200, we'll play Madden here live on the show. And also every $10 that gets sent in, we'll sign your name on the Vikings Now football. But David Lehman saying with so many new guys on defense, Jones will be nervous. I hope so. You know, no doubt. I'm just hoping DJ just doesn't process well on Sunday. Like, I'm hoping it's going to be the typical, and I'll call this out. This will at least happen 3 times. Text, remember this, okay? Because I might forget it for Sunday. It's going to happen like this. Flores is going to do the prototypical. It's going to be 3rd and 7. He's going to line 7 guys up on the line of scrimmage. They're all going to be standing up. And then DJ is going to think he's going to outsmart Flores. Like every quarterback does. Every at least, mid or bad quarterback. He's going to check to a wide receiver screen. You're going to see Ivan Pace just give one of these. They're going to throw it out there. Vikings going to be on it right away. It happened even in the preseason. It happened all the time last year. I promise you at least 2 or 3 times this Sunday on a key 3rd and long or 2nd and long when Flores is showing pressure, he's going to check to a wide receiver screen, and it will get blown up. Every quarterback has fallen, victim to it. So, Rocky in the chat asking a good question. When do you see Addison playing? We got a report today. He looks good. He should be ready to go versus the New York Giants, which is absolutely huge for this football team. But we're going to be getting into our second segment here. Again, we're $175 away for us playing Madden live here on the channel tomorrow. Again, if you guys can't support, no big deal at all, but just want to have some fun for you guys. But we're going to get into some great news that the Vikings are getting from Brian Flores, as he's absolutely raving about Dallas Turner. As Mr. Rick is throwing in the chat right now, saying he'll donate $100 if a Vikings fan matches me. All right, deal's out there. If somebody wants to get involved, one of our big hitters here at the channel, somebody's going to throw in $100. Mr. Rick said he'll match it. Mr. Rick, I appreciate you as always. Yeah, thank you. It feels weird going head-to-head against, the Giants faithful this Sunday, but I'm very excited. We're going to be talking smack to each other all Sunday. It's going to be fun. So, hey, Mr. Rick said if one Vikings fan sends in $100, he'll match it, and we'll go live here on the channel tomorrow and play some Madden. I think it'll be a ton of fun. You guys will really, really enjoy it. Plus, get your name on the football right there. But let's dive into our next segment. Top players to watch. Brian Flores talks about Dallas Turner. Let's dive into it. Brian Flores is absolutely raving about Dallas Turner ahead of the Week 1 game versus the New York Giants. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman. Coming up on today's show, we're going to be diving into what Flo had to say about the first round pick, and then also later on today's show in the second half, 5 players who need to step up this weekend versus the New York Giants. And for those 5 players play well, should find ourselves celebrating a Victory Monday here on the channel. But hey, if you guys want the Vikes to beat the Giants this weekend, don't jinx it. Hit that thumbs up icon. You don't want to be sitting there in the third quarter. Vikings are down 17-10, and you watch this video and you're just sitting there saying, damn, did I like that kid's video? I should have done that. So hit that thumbs up icon, like today's video if you guys want the Vikings to catch a victory this Sunday. But the great news for the Minnesota Vikings comes from the defensive coordinator here, as he is raving about Dallas Turner, saying this: very athletic, very smart, tough, nothing but positives, quite honestly. I think one of the good things for him is he's in a room with guys like Jonathan Gennard, guys like Andrew Van Ginkel, and he's like a sponge with that group as far as extracting information and finding ways for him to apply some of those things with his skill set. And I think that's a great point by Flo, because this is not a situation where Dallas Turner, first-round pick, all the hype, all the expectations are on a 21-year-old to step in and be that powerhouse, to be that main, edge rusher on this team. He doesn't need to. He's probably not even going to get the first reps this Sunday. It's going to go to Gennard. It's going to go to Van Ginkel, and then he will obviously rotate in once Van Ginkel, maybe he's dropping in the coverage. Maybe they run all 3 of them on the field at the same time. And again, it's going to be prototypical Daniel Jones. You got to pick and choose who's coming. Dallas Turner, he'll get a lot of one-on-one opportunities this upcoming weekend. But I do want to get you guys this quote from Adam Patrick. Works for the Vikings Age. I was reading his article earlier today, and I absolutely love this. He said, last year, with Flores calling the plays, check this, the Vikings blitzed on 51.5% of the opposing team's dropbacks, highest in the NFL. Turner is going to get a ton of opportunities to bring down the quarterback this season, and if he makes the most of these opportunities, he has a shot at becoming one of the most dominant rookies in Minnesota history. I love that from Adam Patrick. Had me damn near ready to run through a brick wall there. But the Vikings edge group specifically here, you really do have a 3-headed monster in my opinion, and I would not be shocked if, let's just say, 50% or 60% of the snaps this Sunday where you see all 3 of these guys lined up out there on the field, because one actually key note on Dallas Turner, he dropped into coverage a whole lot this past season at Alabama, and obviously we know Van Ginkel will dive into him a little bit more here in a second, but he's extremely versatile. Then also Jonathan Gennard, man, he had a very underrated year this past season. Now, the sack numbers are obviously what everybody wants to look at, where he had 12.5 sacks, and that's great, and only 15 games played. But the stuffs also, and stuffs are anytime in a run play, you stop the ball carrier either at the line of gain or behind the line of scrimmage, very similar to TFLs on that one. But he had 52 tackles, actually did have 2 PBUs, so he's got a little bit of ability to drop in coverage just a little bit. Didn't do it a whole lot for the Texans this past season. But again, key word with Flores, versatility. And the dude whose name should probably be in the definition under versatile, or a versatile player, Andrew Van Ginkel, man. His stats are ridiculous. Just the fact that he is able to put up 6 sacks, an interception, 8 pass breakups, a fumble recovery. He also had a touchdown last year, but he also had 69 tackles. And actually, funny enough, Andrew Van Ginkel's, let me read this out to you guys. His PFF grades this past season were ridiculous. He had a 91.1 overall grade, and his pass rush grade, highest in the NFL, 90.6. And this is why I have loved what the Vikings have done this offseason. They didn't obviously go out there and just pick and choose whatever players they wanted in the draft and free agency, defensively. They fit players who perfectly fit into what Brian Flores' defensive scheme wants to accomplish. And I think that's so key in the NFL and honestly in every sport. Fit matters a whole lot more than we think. That's why a lot of us who, play Madden, play 2K, play video games, and, we go in franchise mode and we play GM and we just think we can pick and choose players and just have it all mesh together and work out perfectly. That's not the case. You have to have players who fit with what the defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator are trying to accomplish. And clearly there was that connect between Kwesi and Brian Flores this offseason. And that's another big reason why I think this Vikings defense is not only going to be top 10 in the league, I think it's going to be a top 5 unit. But you guys let me know. Do you believe in Flo's magic? Will the Vikings have a top 5 defense this upcoming season? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no. I know this is big. This is a big ask of that group. You guys let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. Coming up next, I'm going to be giving you guys my 5 players who need to step up. First, the New York Giants. But before we dive into that, I want to give a massive shout out to today's sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Now, Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. So if you guys download Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS and get $50 instantly when you just play with $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play a lineup of just $5. And the best part of this, you don't even need to win that play to get the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And they actually have a sweet deal going on right now for week 1 of the football season, where one Caleb Williams passing yard gets you 1 win on Prize Picks every week in September. That's right. Only 1 yard gets you an automatic win every football weekend in September. 4 weeks of free W's. Don't miss the deal on Prize Picks because it's gone when September ends. So download Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need the win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. All right, so who needs to step up versus the New York Giants? Number 1 for me, probably the most inconsistent player on this football team. I'm going to go Ed Ingram. And a big reason why he needs to step up is just because the Giants have a really good defensive line. Dexter Lawrence is an absolute game wrecker there. But also this, if let's just say the Vikings lose this Sunday and Dexter Lawrence, number 97 on the Giants, is the reason they win, Ed Ingram will be benched if he plays terrible. He was awful in the preseason. His PFF grades were in the 30s. And obviously it's tough for a guy like me to evaluate offensive line play. So I'll kind of just, lean to what PFF has to say about, how an offensive lineman played. But if he plays bad again, he will be benched. And you also remember, Dalton Risner is on IR for the first 4 games. The Vikings are probably waiting for him to step in and possibly take over that right guard spot. But this is a big game for just his career as a whole, and obviously a big game for this Vikings offense that they need out of him. But number 2 for me, I'm going to go the cornerback here, Byron Murphy Jr. Coming off his, I don't want to say it's his worst year of his NFL career, but definitely a down year. And, I will give the Giants credit. They have a very good receiving group. And, I like their group actually the past couple of years. I felt like they had a bunch of solid 2s and 3s in that unit, but they drafted a true number 1. They drafted Malik Neighbors. Now, everything I've seen from him, he is going to be a true wide receiver 1 in the National Football League. He's super, super explosive. He can take a 5-yard slant and turn it upfield, and he's going to the house. And he's also fantastic in the 50-50 ball situation. So I'm not sure if the Vikings are going to shadow Neighbors with either Gilmore or Byron Murphy, but Byron Murphy will be lined up with him at least 4 or 5 times this upcoming weekend. Just hoping he, ends up winning most of those reps. But I got another guard here, Blake Brandel. Excuse me. He is not on the hot seat as much as I think Ed Ingram is, but it just kind of gets me back to this point. The Giants beat the Vikings because Dexter Lawrence. That is the main reason why I think the Giants are going to get a victory. Very similar to, the wild card weekend where, Daniel Jones got all the love because he played great. He was the best player on the field that day. But my opinion, the second best player on the field that day was Dexter Lawrence. Why did Kirk Cousins take a check down on 4th and 8? Because this dude threw Garrett Bradbury out of the way. Cousins panicked, had to check it down right away. So Brandel, Ed Ingram, you got to step up and you got to play some of the best ball of your career this upcoming Sunday. But number 4 for me, the 22-year-old Jordan Addison, as we did get an update earlier today that he is fully expected to be ready to go week 1 versus the New York Giants. And I'm thrilled about that because Addison, heading into this offseason, he was a guy that I thought could have a breakout year where we're talking about the Vikings wide receiver duo as the best in the NFL. And he could dominate week 1 because I'm assuming the Giants' top corner, Deonte Banks, will most likely shadow Jefferson with a lot of safety help over the top. You know, he'll get 2-3 guys on him about every single play. But I think Addison could set himself up to dominate because he's going to get a lot of one-on-one opportunities. And we saw it last year, how good number 3 was when Jefferson was in the lineup. He will have a chance to explode week 1. It's obviously just going to come down to 14. Sam Darnold, if he's able to get him the football. But if he wins his routes like I expect him to do so, watch out for Addison going for over 100 against the Giants. But last one for me. This is not a guy who necessarily needs to step up because he's a very good football player. But this is a guy where I think Vikings fans are going to be like, man, I forgot we signed Blake Cashman in free agency. Like, I feel like we're going to forget about that, and then he's going to have a couple big plays, and we're going to be like, that was one of the better pickups of the offseason. And it also gets me to this point. The Vikings need to stop the run week 1. The Giants don't have Saquon Barkley anymore. They brought in Devin Motor Singletary, and he's a good running back, but he's not great by any means. He's very actually good in my favorite rushing stat, rushing yards over expected. But, you know, you want Daniel Jones to beat you. I want Daniel Jones to put up the same stat line he did wild card weekend. Force him to do that, and I think the Vikings could find themselves in the victory column this Sunday. But you guys give me a name here. Who are you most excited to watch week 1 versus the New York Giants? I'm going chalk here. I'm going number 18, Justin Jefferson. I've just been fiending to watch Jettas out there on the football field yet again. So hopefully we'll see him gritty in the end zone in MetLife Stadium. But you guys let me know, who are you most excited to watch week 1 versus the New York Giants? Now, if you guys also want to give me a follow on Twitter, that's the handle right there, at Pat Sieps. If you guys do so, I'll give you guys a follow right back. See you guys next time. Skol Vikes. We had some $100 super chats roll in during the cut. Skolger, a legend from our watch parties. The GOAT here at Vikings Now, a Skull Club member. He is the best. And he's sending a super chat saying Skull. That's all he had to say, just Skull. Mindset ready for week 1 for my man Skolger. And then also Mr. Rick Cha came in with 100 saying good luck Sunday, match Skolger. Mr. Rick, thank you so much. You know, what you do for Marsh and I is awesome, and we really don't take it for granted. So thank you guys so much. Also, you, Skolger, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hope all is well with you, but I'm excited. Marsh and I will square off on the sticks tomorrow. Madden will probably be going live at about 4. We'll be set up in a studio. We'll be head-to-head. We'll have the Madden game live on screen right here, and it'll be just me and Marsh squaring off in Madden. So super excited about that. Thank you guys so much for getting us past $200 as Mr. Rick. I know you're a Giants fan. I am going to sign your name on our Vikings Now ball. This is Skolger. You're already on there. So you know what everybody in the live chat right now, spam Skolger down below in the chat. And whoever spams it the most, I'll write your name on the football. What is early line for the Madden game coming in from Skolger? So we split the first 2 games we played. I won 34-26. Or no, Marsh won 34-26 in the second game we played. And then the first game we played, I think I won by like 4 or 5. They've been really good games both times. Hopefully we can get you guys a good game tomorrow when we do square off. But yeah, that's the deal today. So appreciate it, Mr. Rick and Skolger. I was hoping to get on the ball. Thank you. Yeah, Mr. Rick Cha, got you right there. Shout out to you. That light's bothering it. Right there. Mr. Rick on the football. It's Roger Bong in the chat saying Skolger. Shout out to Roger. If you guys see, Roger's got a sweet little profile pic. It's an old, Vikings, slipping on the name of it, but it's an old Vikings, a patch. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it is old school, man. That's awesome. Shout out to Roger Bong for tuning in. But we are going to be getting into a mailbag here in a second. Oh, thank you, Skolger. I appreciate it. Shout out to you, $100 super chat. And Mr. Rick coming in saying, good luck Sunday. Matt Scolger. Shout out to you guys supporting the show. It's going to be a ton of fun. Football is finally back. Can't wait for tomorrow. Chiefs-Ravens, even that's going to be a good game. And then let me actually ask you guys this. I think it's the Eagles. But who are you guys rooting for Sunday, Eagles versus Packers? I think I'm rooting for the Eagles, but I hate rooting for the Eagles. But obviously for the division and, if the Vikings have any chance of making the playoffs, you would hope the Packers lose. But also if you're fighting for a wild card spot, an Eagles loss wouldn't be the worst thing in the world either. Eric, Z Cool, yeah, you guys are going Eagles. That's what I thought. I'm probably going Eagles as well. I could never stomach myself, rooting for the Packers, even though I absolutely hate the Eagles. Most hated teams in the NFL, number one's Green Bay, 50-foot gap. Number two's the Eagles. Number three's the Bears, just because of their fans. Number four, I'm probably going to go the Saints, just because of the playoffs, pretty good rivalry there. But I don't necessarily – actually, Lions are moving up my list. Lions are definitely moving up my list. Brandon saying no one hates the Packers. I promise you, if you ask everybody in this chat, who do you hate the most in the NFL besides – or not besides anybody, who do you hate the most? It's definitely the Eagles – or the Packers. Yeah. Don't hit them if they don't have questions. Z Cool saying FGB. Love it, Z Cool. Alrighty, but we are going to be getting into a mailbag. Last call here. If you guys do super chat while we are doing the cut, you guys will get thrown up on screen right away. But hashtag Vikings in the live chat. If you guys could, I would really appreciate it. If you guys have a hot take for the season, I love those. If you guys want to get spicy down in the comments, hashtag Vikings, or you guys could super chat. I love the hot take. So if a couple of you guys give me a hot take, I'd appreciate it. Cha saying I really do like the Vikes going back to the Fran Tarkenton years, but I can't against my Giants. Sorry, I'll skull for the rest of the season. Hey, that's okay. That's kind of the same boat I am. I have no hard feelings against the Giants. Every single game that the Giants aren't playing the Vikings, I'm probably rooting for the Giants. Just because I will say I'm not a Daniel Jones guy where I'm like a believer in him, where I think he's a good quarterback, but the dude gets dunked on in media more than any other player, I think, right now in all of sports. And, he's just a guy that I hope he proves a lot of people wrong. But, yeah, Scolger getting a question in there. Appreciate you. But, yeah, we're going to be diving into this mailbag here before week 1 versus the New York Giants. Roller Coaster Mike saying Vikings are my second favorite team. That's awesome. Yeah, Z Cool, good point. Vikings did unveil their captains today. Sam Darnold, Jefferson, O'Neal, Metellus, Harrison Phillips, Harrison Smith, C.J. Ham, and Andrew Paula. No shockers there. I guess the only shocker would be Darnold, but, again, you got to give your quarterback the captain nod. Even Denver gave Bo Nix the captain position. So, yeah. I feel like it's one of those things you kind of have to just instill that fake confidence in your quarterback. Maybe if Tua was named a captain when Flores was the head coach, he wouldn't be yapping about him all offseason. But hashtag Vikings, super chat. Let's dive into it. EV Dog, great question. All right, let's do it. What's going on, Vikings fans? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman. Coming up on today's show, it's my favorite segment we do here at Chat Sports. It's mailbag time where I answer questions straight from our loyal subscribers here at Vikings Now. I love chopping it up with you guys, so let's dive into it. But before we get there, if you guys want the Vikings to beat the Giants this Sunday, let it rain down in the comments section. I want to see a skull chant. I want to go back and look at this video later tonight and just see 1,000 skulls like it's US Bank Stadium, 12 p.m. kickoff. I just gave myself chills there. If you guys could see that, I just gave myself chills there. So if you guys could, give me a skull down below in the comments section. Cash Prod's coming in with the first question. Love this. Saying, what do you think the final score will be week 1 versus the Giants? So, Cash Prods, appreciate it. I have initially said 17-6 is my score prediction. I think it's going to be low scoring. I think it's going to be a gritty football game. I think the Giants' front seven is one of the best in the National Football League. They can get pressure from the interior, and where the Vikings are extremely weak is the interior of their offensive line. However, I think Brian Flores is going to make a name for himself this Sunday, more than he already has. I think the Vikings defense for the first 5 weeks, when they only give up 15 points a game, we're going to be talking about him potentially getting head coaching jobs this next cycle. I'm going to stick with 17-6. If I had to give another one, maybe a little higher scoring one, I'll go 23-10. But, hey, favorite bet of the weekend across the whole board in the NFL, take the under in this football game. It's 41.5. The over is not going to hit. Both of these teams have good defenses, and it's Darnold and Daniel Jones playing at quarterback. Keep it simple, but I'll stick with my original prediction, 17-6. Vikings get the victory. Z Cool coming in saying, what kind of trickery do you see happening during the game, offense and defense? Great question, Z Cool, because I was listening to Flores' press conference yesterday, and he was showing a lot of love to Brian Dable. You know, he's an elite football mind, knows the game very well on both sides of the field. But Flores was kind of hinting at that he has a new wrinkle this year in his defense. And when a guy like Flores says he has a new wrinkle, it just gets me going a little bit because we know his MO. We know he's one of the, he blitzes at the highest percentage in the entire NFL. Like, I'm just curious to see what, trickery he does have installed. Maybe he just goes for a drive, just stock coverage, where it's just 4 D linemen, 3 linebackers, and he's just running cover 2. And that's the trickery, is him going super, super vanilla. But I will say offensively, I hope he doesn't do this. But last time the Vikings played the Giants, second drive of the game, 3rd and 1, Kevin O'Connell went to a play where it was a Jefferson throwback to Kirk Cousins. I could see Kevin O'Connell trying to get a revenge play and try to have Jefferson throw a touchdown. Or Z Cool, you're saying in live chat right now, Aaron Jones trickery. I could see him catching a wheel route for 6 this Sunday. But great question, Z. Appreciate you. Sauce Pokemon coming in saying, I'm going week 1. What should I expect? I'm hoping you see a lot of purple in the crowd. Hopefully Vikings fans travel very well to New York, but it's going to be a hostile environment. Giants fans, I think both teams are necessarily calling this a must-win game, as, if you ask Giants fans, are they going to win week 1? They're all saying hell yeah. If you ask Vikings fans, are you guys winning week 1? We're all saying hell yeah. I think it's going to be a hostile environment. But I'll tell you what, a couple of Justin Jefferson gritties in the end zone will quiet that crowd very, very quickly, hopefully. But have fun at the game. Should be a good one. Chris Foles coming in with the next one saying, who is the biggest X factor for the Vikings versus the Giants? So chalk here, it's obviously Darnold. Chalk answer is Sam Darnold, obviously the quarterback. But if I wanted to go another one, probably Byron Murphy or Ed Ingram. I'll go Ed Ingram on this. I think he's playing for a starting job week to week at this point. He has been incredibly inconsistent. He was terrible in the preseason, and he's got a great matchup week 1. Giants have a great front 4, one of the best or the best interior defensive lineman in the league, in my opinion, in Dexter Lawrence. So obviously Sam Darnold is the no doubt answer for this, but a little bit of a dark horse sleeper answer, I'll go Ed Ingram. But hey, I just gave you guys 2 answers. You guys just got to give me one. Who is the Vikings' biggest X factor versus the Giants this Sunday? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. But, no doubt, I'm going Sam Darnold or Ed Ingram. Dakota coming in saying, Pat, how many yards do you think Sam will have Sunday? So I think his over-under is set at, I'm pretty sure his over-under set at 236.5 for that game. Now, obviously game flow plays a huge impact on this, because let's just say, the Vikings come out there and they're able to run the ball like crazy. I'm sure Kevin O'Connell will give Aaron Jones 20 carries and Ty Chandler 10, and they just ground and pound this Giants team. But I actually think the Giants are going to be able to take away the run pretty easily. So I think he's going to throw the ball a lot. If I had to predict it, Sam Darnold's stats for week 1, I'm going to go he throws for 271 yards, finds the end zone once, throws a pick. That's what I'll go. But I'll say 271 yards for Sammy Dimes. Big Bob Johnson saying, are there any more NFL free agents the Vikings should think about signing? Great question. You guys are going to love this. What about Irv Smith Jr.? Now, Irv Smith was just cut by the Kansas City Chiefs. They brought him on the practice squad. They ended up, or they brought him on before the final 53-man cut day, but they ended up cutting him. And now Irv Smith is still out there. I know Irv was that typical guy every offseason where we're saying, oh, he's going to finally break out. He's going to finally break out and just do the injuries and not, getting the most opportunity here in Minnesota. He wasn't able to work out too much, but Irv Smith, let's just say week 1 versus the Giants, Johnny Munt and Nick Muse isn't cutting it. I could see them looking at Irv. But you also got a guy like Hunter Renfrow, Michael Thomas, even though I don't think the Vikes will make a move at the wide receiver position. But if I had to guess it, Vikes don't make a move at all in terms of the free agency department. But we'll get to more questions here in a second. But first off, got to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is Game Time. Game Time is the #1 ticket purchasing app out there right now. And actually, Game Time has a brand new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Now, if you guys are looking to get a ticket for week 2 49ers heading to Minneapolis, Game Time is the best way to do so. And my favorite feature is the views from your seat. You get a panoramic view from your seat in the app even before you buy the ticket. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. I'll put that link for you guys in the comment section and description of today's show. And Mac saying, do you believe that Gilmore could be Terrence Newman 2.0? Are you saying this in a positive way on Terrence Newman? Because my only thought on Terrence Newman was the 5'7" cornerback that Mike Zimmer just had a love affair with, and he just rolled him out there every single year. I'm going to say I hope not. Hopefully he produces better than Terrence Newman did, but I get what you're saying with old cornerbacks, but Terrence Newman was never a defensive player in the year or a top cornerback in the NFL like Gilmore was. So I'm going to say no on that one, M. Mac. Dakota getting his score prediction in for Sunday, saying Vikings will win 27-3. If that is the situation, I'm probably going to be unbearable on the channel for the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be talking Super Bowl. I'm going to be drinking the purple Kool-Aid. I'm going to be saying the Vikings got a chance to win the division. I would love that, Dakota, but I do think it's going to be a gritty football game. I think it's going to be low scoring. I think, each touchdown is going to feel monumental in this football game, as I think the offense, both offenses will really, really struggle. But Tom Lyles coming in saying, think we'll get over 400 total yards against the Giants. That's tough. I'm going to lean no. I got Sam Darnold. I said he's going to throw around 270 in terms of the passing yards. And I think Aaron Jones and Ty Chandler will probably get to around 100, I would hope. So I'll probably say the Vikings end up with around 370 yards. If they eclipse 400, though, no doubt the Vikings win. There's not a scenario where they go over 400 yards and they lose that football game. So, yeah, I hope so. But I would probably lean no on that one, Tom. Last question coming in from Rocky, saying, when do you see Addison playing this Sunday? We got an update from Kevin O'Connell. He said he looks good to go. He'll be out there, true wide receiver 2 for the Vikes. I think he's setting himself up to have a breakout year. Number 18, Jefferson's going to be getting all that attention. Hopefully Addison can win his one-on-one opportunities and hopefully cook this very, very weak Giants secondary. But, hey, if you guys made it to the end of today's show, let's close it the way we started it. Give me a skull down below in the comments section. Make it look like U.S. Bank Stadium on game day. I'd really appreciate it. But also, if you guys want to give me a follow on Twitter, that's a handle right there, @PatSeeps. If you guys do so, I'll give you guys a follow right back. And thank you guys so much for watching. Football is back. Can't wait for Sunday. See you guys later. Skol Vikes. All righty. Someone tell Jefferson to stop grabbing his hamstring during his gritty. Yeah, how funny was that he was joking about pulling off the pulled hamstring gritty? Tex, I don't know if you know this. So it was before the Chiefs game last year. Jefferson did a sit-down. I think it was with Fox, their crew, Greg Olson, and they were asking him, what type of gritty are you pulling out this week? And he goes, I'm going to pull off the pulled hammy gritty. He pulled his hamstring that game, and he was out for majority of this season. So, Z-Cool, don't ever comment that again. Get that bad mojo out of here. I'm just playing with you. I appreciate you, as always. But Cha saying putting 27 up against the Giants defense is a tall order. Yeah, 100%. Mr. Rick, what is before we sign off out of here, what is your score prediction for week 1? Or if there's any more Giants fans in here. I'm just trying to get a pulse of their fan base just a little bit. What is your score prediction, Mr. Rick? If you had to call it right now. As I said 17-6. I know Giants fans won't like that much. Their team scoring 6 points in week 1. That's what I'm going with. Mr. Rick going 21-17 Vikes. So yeah, under still hits there. That'll be a hell of a game. I'm just hoping it's close, obviously. But Tom Miles saying our biggest X factor is our field goal kicker, Will Reichard. I'm not saying anything about him. I'm not going to talk about Will Reichard at all. I'm just not going to him. That's all I'm going to say. Lyle's going 29-20. But, hey, we appreciate you guys. We got to get on out of here. Thank you guys so much. We'll be live 10:45. 10:45, an hour and 15 minutes before kickoff. Me and my man Tex will be holding it down. Whole pregame show. We'll be having fun. It's going to be a ton of fun here. Shout out to Tex for producing today's show. Killed it. And we'll have him this Sunday. We'll have a producer this Sunday. Cannot wait. But see you guys later. As always, Skol Vikes.